Good evening and welcome to the news portion of DSI tonight. Pocomoke police investigating a shooting. Just before 11:30 p.m. Thursday, officers were called to Maple Street for reports of shots fired. Police say a home was struck by gunfire multiple times, but thankfully no one was hurt. Police believe the incident is connected to a shooting that occurred on Linden Avenue earlier this week. Anyone with any information is urged to call police. That number's 410-632-2076. Well, it was a scare in the community after two men were seen taking photographs at a Sharp Energy propane facility. WMDT's Rennell Foreman has the story.
Two men were reportedly taking pictures with high-tech cameras of this propane tank behind me, and it has caused some distress within the community.
Employee of Sharp Gas observed a vehicle stopped in the median strip, and the occupant of the vehicle exited and took some photographs of the propane tanks and the railroad cars.
Somerset County Sheriff Ronnie Howard explains that the employee then notified his supervisor, saying the pair drove off in a blue Tesla. Sheriff Howard calling the behavior suspicious, saying there is no good reason the pair would have been taking these pictures and then fleeing the scene. Sharp Energy contacted police about the incident.
State police put a broadcast out for a dark blue Tesla. A deputy from the office overheard that broadcast, and 6 minutes after that broadcast stopped a blue Tesla.
Unfortunately, it wasn't the suspect's car.
The initial deputy, yes, assumed that was the blue Tesla that was reported by the state police. And like I said, it was 6 minutes after the broadcast come out. He stops the vehicle, and unknown to us, an hour and a half had elapsed from that original report.
In this case right now, it seems they are left with more questions than answers.
We encourage people to report anything they see. It may be innocent, it may not be innocent, but we want people to be aware, to be alert, and to report any suspicious activity to us.
In Somerset County, because local matters, Rennell Foreman, WMDT.
Yeah, Sheriff Howard wants to remind the public that if you see something, say something and call 911. Now, we, of course, reached out to Sharp Energy for comment, but they have not yet responded. Well, January is Human Trafficking Awareness Month. Human trafficking is the use of force or coercion to compel a person into labor or commercial sex against their will. Anyone can experience human trafficking regardless of their race, nationality, their age, or their gender. Now, migrants, people of color, and children are typically more at risk. There are signs that you can look out for, like living in an isolated or inhumane conditioned place and not having control over your passport or your identifying documents. Sheriff Ronnie Howard, who we just heard from in the previous story of Somerset County, says that you should be cautious who you meet up with.
Always avoid meeting someone by themselves that you don't know. Always have someone with you at all times if you can.
Yeah, if you'd like to learn more, you can call the Wicomico County Health Department at 410-334-3480. Well, Marylanders are about to get a designated spot for their dogs. Back in April, Wicomico County felt having a dog park would bring more traffic to the area. And after partnering with Becker Morgan, they've been working on the development ever since. It will be located at Leonard's Mill Pond. Senior tourism specialist for Wicomico County, Laura Soper, says next week's meeting will be to finalize the design.
As a welcome center, we are always looking for ways to bring in more traffic to our building, invite folks to the county. It's really just to gather their feedback, see what they like, what they don't like, things that they may say that we don't want to see that at all. So really it's open to anything, but these are just two ideas just to present initially.
Yeah, that meeting will take place January 15th at 5 p.m. at the Wicomico County Civic Center. Well, it is a big night when it comes to the weather. We're expecting even more snow after that winter storm we got earlier this week. And Chief Meteorologist Rich Werdzik is tracking it all in the Weather Center. Rich?
Right, and Rob, just on cue, or right on cue here recently within the past half hour. If you got to look closely here, but in downtown Salisbury, some of the first flurries starting to fly, real light stuff. But this is expected to increase in intensity as we go through the night and into the morning. So a large look here at how this storm is impacting the area. Winter storm warning still out, wide swath of the deep south, or the mid-south, I should say, up through North Carolina, southern Virginia. We're right on the northern fringe of what's going to be another winter weather event for us here. With these colored shaded areas there under winter weather advisory. I'll overlay the radar. You can see how expansive the storm is, but really the heaviest precipitation and the most problematic weather is just off to our south. You can see some of the heavier snow bands setting up in southeastern Virginia, and that's where a lot of that is expected to stay. But we get a little closer, and you saw what it looks like outside in Salisbury. So the leading edge of this is real light stuff, but it will pick up gradually here through the night, and overall the roads will just take that light snow on pretty quickly, and we'll have a small accumulation in no time. So this is arriving here through the night. It's already starting. There will be places obviously over toward the beaches in northern Delmarva. It might take a little longer, but it will get there, I promise. Quick accumulation late tonight. The snow is going to be over, and in some cases before sunrise. The most snow will add up south of Salisbury, and we do expect some road issues here initially, but I think by tomorrow afternoon, a lot of the main roads will start to see some melting with the sun coming out. But we're going to add to those snow hills and those snow piles across the area like you see here in Rehoboth Beach in our Morse Roofing and Siding Skycam. Temperatures running in the upper 20s and low 30s. That's where we're going to hang out here through the night. So this will be an all-snow event. There's a center of low pressure that's causing all this. Now, it had the markings of being a nasty nor'easter turning up the coast. Not going to happen. It's not going to phase with the Arctic jet stream to allow for an explosive development, much like, or at least similar to what we had from Monday with that larger storm. So this thing is actually just going to go out to sea later tomorrow morning, and by noon it's going to be well out to sea. And talked about the sun will end up coming out for a little bit, and it should help with the melting pretty quickly, at least on the main roads. So here's 4 a.m. Light snow continues, maybe some heavier snow in far southern Delmarva. So I'm talking to you in Pocomoke City, Crisfield, Chincoteague, down to Bloxham, Accomack County. You'll end up actually with the most snow this go around compared to the rest of the peninsula. There's 4 tomorrow afternoon. The sun expected to come out. 23 to 28 tonight. And in fact, our temperature probably right where it's at right now, not moving much more. Snow arriving here, as I said, for mainly after midnight for a lot of folks off to the east and north. Our Brazier's Carpet Care dog walking forecast. Willow will have more snow to play in come tomorrow. Red Paws in the morning so we can let the snow stop. And for the afternoon, again, it will be a little better to get out there and get the walk in. Now, 7-day forecast. After tomorrow morning snow, we're done talking snow, but we're not done talking about cold air and refreeze. There is a slight improvement in temperature come Monday, but our nighttime lows are staying in the teens, feels like in the single digits again next week. Another shot of Arctic air. Not a flake of snow to talk about, though, Anthony, as we will at least have a quiet but still very cold week ahead.
Thank you so much, Rick. Rich, stick around. Big news for the Birds heading into Wild Card Weekend, plus high honors for Lamar Jackson ahead of the Ravens rematch with the Steelers. You're watching DSI.
This is David Chandler, committed to Vanderbilt, and you're watching Delmarva Sports Insider.